Rural and indigenous women are continuously forced off their land and must work as cheap labor. But we don't get a say in how this global system affects us.
Rural, indigenous, and migrant women of Asia Pacific bear the brunt, both financially and ecologically, of unjust and inequitable globalization. Yet corporate interests, rather than community interests, are influencing Rio Plus 20. Women from across Asia Pacific are demanding just and sustainable development in their own communities in 4 key areas.
I want the Sri Lankan government to ensure women have full access to the livelihood means and production, also participate as a stakeholder in climate change action plan.
I want to stop transnational mining companies suing the governments of developing countries.
Governments must ensure women have access to and control over productive resources, finance, sustainable energies, information, education, healthcare, and markets. Equitable access to land is crucial for poverty reduction.
I want government policy and budgets to go beyond gross domestic produce (GDP).
I want the government to set a living wage that can support families.
Most women paid workers in Asia live in poverty. A global standard to calculate a living wage could stop the constant capital search for slavery-like labor. Governments must recognize women's capacity and labor and value it equally, and establish a minimum living wage.
I want Burmese troops to stop sexual violence in Kitchen State.
I want all governments to stop human rights abuses against women in their countries and regions.
Conflict over the extraction of natural resources often involves military force, increasing violence in the community. Governments must stop wars, armed conflict, and violence against women.
I would like to see the government to really recognize and make it into the formal in law, the formal legislation, to support the rights of people to participate.
I want to call on women farmers of the world to unite and fight hunger and poverty to be able to achieve women's empowerment.
Persistent economic, social, cultural, and political inequalities prevent women's full and meaningful participation in policy making. Governments must ensure women, especially rural, indigenous, and migrant women, are not only present in formal processes, but also participate in decision-making at all levels. What sustainable development goals do you want for your community? Share your message at apwld.org/Rio Plus 20 or on Facebook or Twitter.